What's up, everybody? I'm Najee Adams.
And I'm Hunter Jacobs.
And you're listening to the Hoop Ball Nets podcast. Okay, so I don't want to say we took a break, but it's been a while since we recorded. Our semester of school started back up, and things are kind of hectic now. Like, I have a calculus test tomorrow I have to study for after this, and we just had a whole bunch of school stuff to do, but we're back. And before we get into things, we kind of have a packed episode today, but before we get into things, make sure you guys go subscribe to us on iTunes. You can look up Brooklyn Nets, you can look up Hoop Ball Nets, you can look up Nets, and we'll come up. Make sure you subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, and a review. All reviews are getting read on the podcast. In fact, we have a review to read right now.
This is my favorite one, so I gotta read this.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so we only got 4 stars on this one.
Which is crazy because it seems to agree with us, so I don't know why you didn't swing us the extra star.
But it's okay. It's okay. 4 stars is still good. But regardless, this man, Tanner.Berglund, said, Dudley and his turtleneck can stay on the bench. I 100% agree with you guys.
Thank you,
now,
Tanner.
By far, this is my favorite review in terms of content that we've received so far because of the amount that I would love to see Jared Dudley not step foot on the court. You already know I believe that he can do his veteran leadership, on-court coaching, and wisdom on the bench. He can see the court instead of being on the court.
He's doing it right now. He's really become like a kind of a reporter on Twitter. He's like, I think the Nets are going to get AD. I think the Lakers are going to get AD. Like, he's really on it on Twitter and everything. He's a pretty good follow on Twitter, to be completely honest. He's just not a good player in basketball. So
anymore.
So, yeah, make sure you guys go leave a review. 5 stars, please. And we're going to read everyone on the podcast. Make sure you go subscribe to us on Twitter. Tweet us questions. We'd love to answer them. Follow us at Hoop Ball Nets. And shout out to Hawaiian House Kona Coffee Company for sponsoring this podcast and every other Hoop Ball podcast. You can find them at High Kona Coffee on Twitter. It's HIKONA Coffee. You can look them up on Amazon. Amazing coffee. Go check it out. So let's get into it. So the Nets played 4 games since the last time we've recorded. So, let's get into it. So, we usually start with going over the games and everything. We're going to go over 4 games today. Yeah, nothing crazy. But what we want to start with is D'Angelo Russell being snubbed from the All-Star team.
Okay. So, there's a chance he still makes the All-Star team because they included Victor Oladipo, and Oladipo's out for the season, as you likely know. So, they need a replacement. Right now, the candidates to replace,
according to Woj,
are D'Angelo Russell and Jimmy Butler, although a lot of people are also saying Eric Bledsoe. Now, Adam Silver came out of nowhere with a Goran Dragic placement last year, so what Woj says is not guaranteed.
But it's not just Woj. Like, J.E. Skeets, a whole bunch of people. Yeah. Charles Barkley, Shaq, Kenny Smith.
Agree that it should be D'Angelo Russell, and I agree it should be D'Angelo Russell. But there's no guarantee that they don't come out of nowhere with this Eric Bledsoe thing, being that he's on the Bucks. I could see it happen. I hope not, but there's a possibility.
So if you guys didn't know, the All-Star reserves from the East were Bradley Beal, completely deserves it. Blake Griffin deserves it. Ben Simmons deserves it. Depot deserves it. Vucevic, fine, deserves it. But Chris Middleton and Kyle Lowry.
Okay, Kyle Lowry.
I'll say he deserves it, not over D'Lo, but he deserves it.
He deserves it.
Chris Middleton, no, he doesn't. Chris Middleton, you're off your rocker if you think that this man deserves it. He averages what? Like, he averages 15, 6, and 4.
I personally believe that if you're going to put a buck in, that it should have been
Bledsoe.
Eric Bledsoe's having a better season than Chris Middleton. So I would have been okay seeing Bledsoe make it and D'Angelo Russell replace Oladipo. But there's also another dark horse candidate that could make it. Well, there's 2, Zach LaVine and Andre Drummond on the horizon.
Zach LaVine is definitely not making it.
But I'm saying Dragic was not even mentioned by people last year and came out of nowhere with that.
I just want to say, if
Silver.
Jimmy Butler makes it, if Adam Silver appoints Jimmy Butler an all-star after him being a complete pain in the rear end the entire season and a locker room cancer, then we need to have a talk, because there's no way he deserves to be an all-star. He averages, like, since he's gone to the Sixers, he's averaged like 19 points per game. So I really don't think he should be. I think D'Lo should have made it off rip. Forget the injury replacement. Like, he should have made it over Chris Middleton. No, Matt, like, fine. It's Chris Middleton's first All-Star game. Whoop-de-whoop. The Bucks are, what, the 1 seed, the 2 seed in the East? That's cool. But, like, I don't understand. The Nets weren't even supposed to make the playoffs. And then Karis LeVert went down. And they're still the 6th seed. All thanks to, not all thanks, but in large part to D'Angelo Russell. So I don't know how he doesn't make it. And then people are saying, like, it's because the team success. Okay, well, the Magic are absolute garbage. The Pistons are garbage. That's not who else? The Timberwolves are garbage. The Pelicans are garbage. But, like, that doesn't mean anything to me. It's clearly not all based on team success.
I mean, of course, it's going to be hard for someone on the 15 seed team to make it, but
the Nets are the 6th seed.
The 6th seed is not low. There were even people saying that Luka Doncic should have made it over Klay Thompson or
Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert.
Marcus Aldridge. My opinion, Doncic and Gobert over Klay and Aldridge, but that's for a different time.
But yeah, we honestly think D'Lo should have made it. I think it's because, like, he just doesn't get enough credit from the coaches. I don't think he gets enough, like, the Nets as a team don't get enough national media coverage.
What I was telling Najee is that think of the games that D'Angelo Russell does not play well and has to sit out the whole fourth quarter. The other coach, the opposing coach, probably does not get D'Lo's respect for that.
But I feel like
D'Lo doesn't get their respect.
I feel like they see, like, when he eats around the league, though. Like, they have to look at tape for D'Lo, and they see he's nice.
But then they play him, and they're like, wow, he's easy to stop when he has a bad game against them, and that loses their vote.
I don't buy that, because, like, think about it. When they're scouting the Nets, who's the Nets? Like, they know the number one option is D'Lo. And whether he scores 2 points and 7 assists, like, they know this is an off night. Like, he of course, like...
But even so, like, the guys on this list go off no matter what.
Okay, Chris Middleton does not go off no matter what.
Except for Chris Middleton. Lowry will get his assists and whatever. Lowry even has off nights. I could agree with Lowry not making it, but I think he deserves it because of how good the Raptors are and he's facilitating. But Middleton does not deserve it at all. That's me opinion.
Personally. I just think it's because the Nets don't get enough national media coverage, and a lot of people still think they're the laughingstock of the league when that's not true. They have the least amount of attendance in the entire NBA, which is sick because they've won their last 7 games at Barclays. So, like, I don't know what else they have to do. Maybe they have to be like once they're in the playoffs. I do not
believe that their arena can hold enough fans to expand attendance much. That's my opinion.
I mean, the Barclays is a pretty lit arena.
But it's pretty small. Yeah. That's the thing. So, if you're okay with not as many fans being there, but it being packed while they are there, then...
Oh, no. We're watching the Spurs game right now, and Treveon Graham looks like he just got shaken up. Oh, about this Spurs game. Like we said, it's going on right now. It's like the third quarter. I said D'Lo needs to come out and 40 bomb the Spurs. It doesn't look like he's going to do that, but he needs to have at least 25. Like a good game from D'Lo just to reassure Adam Silver that he's going to make the right choice. But yes, we just wanted to cover D'Lo getting snubbed because it's a travesty.
And another quick thing that happened before the games. Spencer Dinwiddie, like our 2K sim had predicted,
oh my god,
is out 4 to 6 weeks.
I completely forgot. When shout out to Dwayne Chandler on Twitter, one of probably our biggest fans. Shout out to you because you always listen to every episode. You always tweet us. Like, we really do appreciate it. We didn't even notice that the Dinwiddie injury was the same one as in our 2K sim episode until he tweeted us. And then we looked back at it and we were like, whoa, that's crazy. I kind of want to say we jinxed it, but I also really hope we didn't. If anything, All right, so if you guys don't know, Spencer Dinwiddie's out he just got surgery on his thumb. He doesn't have like an official timetable, but when Woj originally tweeted it out, it was 3 to 6 weeks. So we're just gonna go with 3 to 6 weeks. So if we are the cause of that, we sincerely apologize to every Nets fan that's been and Spencer Dinwiddie that 2K ruined your season. But hopefully he can still come back and be Sixth Man of the Year, because I really feel like he would have won it had he played the entire season.
So the Nets waived Kenneth Faried, and it was pretty obvious he was going to go to the Rockets. They needed a big man. He wanted to go there. And upon starting for the Rockets, in 5 games, he's averaging in 30.7 minutes per game. He's averaging 15.2 points, 9.8 rebounds, 1.2 steals, 1.4 blocks on 56.4% shooting. So
he's basically putting him 15 and 10.
He's basically also proving our point that we wanted him to be the starting power forward for the Nets.
Over Jared Dudley.
But now he's the Rockets' treasure. The Nets trash is the Rockets' treasure. So I guess that's how it works.
Okay, so on to the box score. We're going to start with the Magic. The Nets took this one home 114 to 110. It was a tight game all throughout. The highest differential in points throughout a quarter was quarter 3, when the Nets outscored the Magic by 3. And the Nets shot 47.8% from the field, while the Magic shot 42.7%. They both basically took the same amount of three-pointers. The Magic took 34 and Nets took 32. Nets knocked down 10 of them. Magic knocked down 11 of them. And then the Nets lost the turnover battle 16-13. And they won the rebound battle 45-42. On to the box score. Jonathan Isaac, who has had an iffy season. I was big on Jonathan Isaac coming into the season. And so, like, Hoopball as a website was big on Jonathan Isaac coming into the season. But he was pretty disappointing in the beginning. Now he's starting to turn it around quite a bit. 16 points, 5 of 12 shooting, 4 of 7 from the three-point line, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 blocks, and a steal. So it was a good game from Jonathan Isaac. Aaron Gordon, I don't know what to say about. Like, I could never gauge whether or not Aaron Gordon's a good player.
He's hot and cold. He has his good games and bad games.
But, like, what do you think his ceiling is? Like, do you think Aaron Gordon will ever be an all-star?
He could be.
Like, if he has one of those seasons.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll be similar to the career path of, like, Mike Conley. Like, he'll never quite make it, but he'll always be relevant. Mm-hmm. And teams will want him when he's available, but he'll never be like an absolute star. Speaking of star, all-star.
I was just about to say that.
21 points on 9 of 20 shooting, 14 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 blocks, and 2 steals. So he just did everything in the box score.
Yeah, he had a great game.
And then DJ Augustine lit up the Nets once again. 19 points on 5 of 11 shooting with 6 assists.
And, only other person on that team. Sorry, we had to pause real quick. Somebody above me felt like they wanted to move all their furniture at the same time. So there was a ruckus upstairs. But, yeah, I was saying Jonathan Simmons, 13 points, 24 minutes, 4 or 5 shooting. You know what really, gets me? And whenever I look at the way he spells his name, it's like Jonathan. It's like Jonathan Simmons instead of just Jonathan.
I've never noticed that.
Whenever I write blurs for Hoopball, I always mess it up. But just a tidbit. His name is spelled weird. On to the Nets. Rodions Kurucs. I forgot Alan Crabb was even a player. Like, he should like, you might as well just shut him down, because there's no point in bringing him back. Kurucs, 22 minutes.
The trade deadline is here, you know, if you could get a taker.
Facts. If you could, I mean, he's been injured and he was bad when he was playing, so I doubt anyone wants him. Plus, he has a bad contract. So, Rodions Kurucs, 22 minutes, 13 points, 6 of 9 from the field, 4 rebounds, and steal. Good game from him. No one else really contributed much outside of Dinwiddie and D'Lo and DeMar Carroll. This was Dinwiddie's last game.
The last time they played the Magic, did they not also?
Yeah. DeMar Carroll, 32 minutes, 19 points, 6 of 13 from the field, 4 rebounds and assist. And Spencer Dinwiddie in his last game before getting shut down with surgery. Well, not shut down, but before getting his surgery. 30 minutes, 29 points, 10 of 17 shooting, 2 of 8 from the three-point line, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. It was a good way to go out, in my opinion. And then D'Lo, 25 points, team high 33 minutes, 9 of 21 from the field, 3 of 8 from the three-point line, 7 rebounds, 10 assists, 3 turnovers, 2 steals. Amazing game from D'Lo. He should be an all-star, just saying. On to the Knicks. Who runs New York? The Nets run New York. I can't wait to talk about the Knicks later because we're really going to prove the Nets run New York. But the Knicks won. Oh, I lied to you. The Nets won 109.
You thought the Knicks won.
The Nets won 109-99.
The Nets bench had 71 of the team's
71
points. So
at the end of the first, the Knicks were winning by 7, and then the Nets brought it back, and then it was kind of a back and forth game, but the Nets pulled away at the end. The Nets lost the turnover battle horribly.
19-8.
Yeah, but they out-rebounded them. Look at the rebounds.
33.
60 to 33. That's insane. And then field goal percentage, the Nets shot 40.5 while the Knicks shot 42.5. And they both shot sub 30% from the three-point line.
And both of them also shot sub 70% from the free throw line. So.
They definitely should have played Enes Kanter in this game because whenever Enes Kanter plays Jared Allen, he eats. He gets like 19 and 15 every time. But they refused to play Enes Kanter and they got out-rebounded by 25.
Well, the person who showed out in this game was Trey Burke with one of his random spurt scoring games.
Yeah, 25 and 5 on 10 of 19 shooting.
We'll get to Trey Burke, Tim Hardaway later. But.
And then, Kevin Knox, the savior of the Knicks, apparently had 24 minutes, 7 points, 2 of 11 from the field. He was 2 of 11 from the field.
And 5 personal fouls.
Kevin Knox. In 24 minutes, he had 5 fouls. And then, Noah Vonleh, 22 points, 9 of 18 from the field, 32 minutes, 13 rebounds. He had a great game. And Jared Allen, God, Jared Allen's defense has to get way better.
He's a great shot blocker with lackluster defense overall.
Yeah, like lackluster on-ball defense.
Very similar to Hassan Whiteside.
That's very true. Good comparison. On to the Nets. Nobody.
Oh, my goodness.
Had to pause again because some kids wanted to play tag in the hallway that we're recording in. But, Jared Allen, 19 minutes, 2 points, 1 of 2 from the field, 6 rebounds, and a block.
We'll get to the starting lineup real quick. So, Treveon Graham, 5 points on 5 shots in 20 minutes. Rodion Crooks, 8 points on 9 shots in 17 minutes. Joe Harris, 10 points on 11 shots in 27 minutes. And D'Angelo Russell, 12 points on 11 shots with 4 turnovers in 23 minutes. So this was very much a bench-led win over the Knicks, which says how bad the Knicks are, that the net starting lineup plays this bad and the bench carries them to a win. But
yeah, Shabazz Napier, 18 points. Ed Davis, 17 and 16 in 28 minutes.
And this was Theo Pinson's breakout game. 19 points on 5 of 11 shooting with 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. He led the Nets in scoring. Yeah, and we might never see that again. So.
This was Spencer Dinwiddie's first game out, so Pinson and Shabazz Napier had to step up, and they did. Shabazz Napier was 3 of 13 from the field, but he was 11 of 12 from the free throw line. He was on his Harden stuff. So, he had 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and, not much else. But he stepped up. Shabazz Napier is really like a primary scorer. He gets the ball in the basket, and that's what the Nets are going to need. Nothing really to say. It's just good to see that the Knicks are trash. That's all we can say. Just good to see that the Knicks suck, and they're going to continue to suck for years to come. On to the Celtics game, the only game that they've lost in this games that we're going to talk about. They lost 112 to 104.
A backstory about this game. They asked Marcus Smart, who had an amazing game, about playing the Nets, and he said that last time he played the Nets, they told him the bench told him that he could not shoot and that they would let him shoot all day. So every time he made a 3 in this game, he would just stare into the Nets bench and brag when he made 3s, which he has been a solid shooter this year, so I believe their statements were a mistake because he completely lit them up in this game.
Yeah, and we have something more to talk about because D'Lo got benched at the end of this game, and it was a big topic on Nets Twitter, and we even tweeted something out because I was watching the game and I was like, why is he benched? It was just hard to understand why he was benched. Did D'Angelo just make a three? No, it was DeMar Carroll. Was D'Angelo assisted? Did he assist on the three?
I don't know.
I believe he did. So yeah, Celtics game. They lost 112 to 104. They got outscored 23-16 in the fourth quarter. Celtics shot 45% from the field. Nets shot 37%. And, nothing else really crazy. The turnover battle, 17-17. Defensive rebounds, 36-32. It was a tight game when you look at, like, overall stats. But on to the box score. Boston, they're just so deep that so many players can light you up on a daily basis, and that's basically what happened here. Marcus Morris 15 points, Al Horford 14 and 11, Marcus Smart 21. He was only 4 of 10 from the 3-point line, big boy, but he was 40% from the 3-point line. He had 21. He had 7 assists. 2 turnovers, 5 steals,
and 2 blocks.
Yeah, Terry Rozier.
According to Brewski's cash counters, that is approximately 11 cash counters. Amazing game for Marcus Smart.
Terry Rozier's 14, 7, and 7. He started for Kyrie, played the most minutes on the team at 35. Gordon Hayward's absolute garbage. No, I'm not going to say that. He's still rehabbing from his injury.
So, as you guys know now, I'm a Celtics fan, and I must say
must be rough.
that it's not looking too good for Gordon Hayward. Like, we're locked in with him for 2 more years, and I really am kind of worried.
Must be rough.
Not too happy about it, because Al Horford
he just doesn't look the same.
Al Horford's almost gone. Gordon Hayward's scared to play basketball.
Kyrie's a Knick. So, I mean, what are you going to do in a year? Jaylen Brown, 21 points, 9 of 16 from the field. And Aaron Baines, 16 points and 21 minutes, 6 rebounds. The Celtics had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players in double digits. And on to the Nets, who had 4 players in double digits. Karuk played horribly. He was 1 for 9 from the field, 5 points. Rondé Hollis-Jefferson started 27 minutes, 7 of 19 from the field, 14 points, 9 rebounds, 2 blocks.
He only started because Treveon Graham was out.
Joe Harris, old reliable, went 2 for 8, 1 for 4 from the 3-point line, so it wasn't a good game for him. But D'Lo and Shabazz Napier combined for 45 points. D'Lo having 25, Napier having 20. D'Lo was 10 of 20 from the field. He had 25 points in 23 minutes.
They both hit 4 threes.
And Shabazz...
They also turned the ball over 9 times between the two of them. That's not good to see, but they did have 9 assists and 4 steals together. So,
yeah, and at the end of this game, it was a little bit of controversy because D'Lo got hot in the third quarter. He pulled up from like not half, but like he pulled up from pretty deep top of the key, and it like rolled around, bounced up, bounced in. And he was basically on fire. And when he's on fire, we all know he's on fire. And then what happened? Why did he get taken out? Tell them, because you have a better grasp on it than me.
So, I watched the whole film on it. And so D'Angelo Russell was watching the Celtics possession. He was guarding his man kind of loosely. And then the Celtics put up a shot. And he did not really go for an offensive rebound that was right in his reach. And then... a defensive rebound that was in his reach, and the Celtics got an offensive rebound. And then the same thing repeated for 2 to 3 more possessions in the same possession. And the Celtics had the ball for like 45 seconds to a minute straight and kept getting the offensive rebound. Ed Davis is doing his best boxing out the big man, but no one else is helping out. Sure, I noticed DeMar Carroll was also standing there not doing anything, but it's like you always pick out one person. The coach is not going to bench both of them. I mean, he should do that, but of course he's going to notice that D'Lo wasn't helping with the rebound. He didn't really notice that DeMar wasn't helping with the rebound. He noticed that D'Lo wasn't helping. So what happens? D'Lo gets benched. And what happens when he gets benched? Their offense goes stagnant. When their offense goes stagnant, they lose the game.
Exactly. So D'Lo had really been keeping them in this game, and Atkinson took him out because of a lack of effort. And on Twitter, it was basically either I'm with it because a lack of effort. The young players need to be taught that lesson, discipline, yada yada yada. Or it was, why is D'Lo at the game? We're gonna lose. It's against the Celtics. Blah blah blah. I personally believe this wasn't the game to teach D'Lo a lesson, because at this point the Nets were like 2.5 games behind the Celtics. You win this game, you're a game and a half back, and right now, currently, how many games are the Nets behind the Celtics? It's like 4 now. It's 3 or 4 right now. It is. Give me a second. So the Nets are currently 4.5 games back now, instead of the 2.5 they were when they played the Celtics. But no, Kenny Atkinson wanted to teach D'Lo a lesson, so looks like.
I mean, it's very possible they lose that game anyway.
But he had a better chance. Yeah, I feel like that's not the game to do so when you're up against a team that's ahead of you in the standings. You could have done it, or you could have just talked to him after the game. I'm sure he would have understood that wasn't the time for that. But it was a controversial thing on Twitter, and we're not saying Kenny Atkinson's a bad coach or anything. That was just a bad decision in my opinion. But on to the last game of this little spurt. The Nets beat the Bulls 122-117. We're going to get through this one quick. Just skipping.
It seems like they always play close games with the Bulls when they should be blowing them
They play close games with all the trash teams. I don't understand. But
so I'll go through the 2 worst players on the Nets first. Treveon Graham and Rodion Scruggs had 9 points on 3 of 17 shooting. That's really all I got to say. That is just not a good showing.
And then Joe Harris, 17 points, 5 of 11, 2 of 7 from the 3-point line, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. D'Lo had 30 and 7 assists with 0 turnovers. That's
3 steals.
It's the 3rd time he's done that this season. Not many other players have this season.
Shabazz Napier also continued his solid play. He had 24 points on 8 of 17 shooting with 5 threes, 4 assists, and 3 steals.
And then Rondell Jefferson, 18 and 21 minutes, 7 of 10 from the field, 4 rebounds. And on to the Chicago box score.
Really only Jabari Parker, Zach LaVine, and Lauri Markkanen. No one else really went off.
Yeah, Markkanen had 18 and 19. All of them were defensive rebounds, and none of them were offensive rebounds. He was 6 of 15 from the field. Zach LaVine, 26, 11 of 20 from the field. And then, Jabari Parker, 22 points in 22 minutes, 10 of 15 from the field, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. A great game from Jabari Parker.
Of the season, probably.
Yeah, I feel like the Bulls are really only playing him so that other teams can see how good he is and they can trade him, because I don't really think they want him on the team anymore. But
they envisioned something way different with him, and it's not working out.
Didn't work out at all in the slightest. But that's it for the box scores. Now we're going to talk about probably the most polarizing thing in basketball right now, Anthony Davis. So everybody believes he's going to go to the Lakers. To be honest, I hope he goes to the Lakers. I'm a Lakers fan. But I either want him to go to the Lakers or the Nets. But everyone believes he's going to go to the Lakers. Do you think the Nets have a shot at getting Anthony Davis?
No, because then they have to trade Karis LeVert and D'Angelo Russell, and there's no point at this point. It's it would be like the Heat trading for Anthony Davis and trading away Josh Richardson, Justice Winslow, Tyler Johnson, and 3 first-round picks, and then you're stuck with Dragic, Anthony Davis.
That's it.
James Johnson, I guess. There's no point of giving away your whole starting lineup to get him. The Lakers are going to do that because they have LeBron. That's the difference, because they know they're not trading LeBron. So they give away everyone but LeBron, and then you can piece around little minor pieces, and it's going to be great because they have LeBron and Anthony Davis. But no other teams can really do that.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get AD, nor do I think they should get AD. If the opportunity was to arise, pull the trigger, but I wouldn't suggest giving up D'Lo or LeVert. Really only Dinwiddie, out of your guards, that's probably... Okay, so before we get out of here, we just want to talk about the Knicks trade with Kristaps. Basically, we just want to talk about how idiotic it was for them. And people are saying, like, oh, it was the best trade they could have got for Kristaps. Yeah, we know he was going to leave. Okay, that's the problem itself, the fact that he wanted to leave. That just shows how incompetent of an organization the Knicks are. And the fact that they traded him for Dennis Smith is even worse. Because back in 2017...
They passed up on Dennis Smith.
When people were telling them to draft Dennis Smith, they wanted to go and take Frank.
So now they have Frank and Dennis Smith. They give away Kristaps, or as the angry Knicks fans called him, Tingus Pingus in one video. So
they gave away Tingus Pingus for DSJ.
This is karma to those fans who were booing and calling him Tingus Pingus on draft day. And they get what they deserve, losing a star, getting an expiring contract DeAndre Jordan, an old Wesley Matthews, an inconsistent Dennis Smith, and 2 first-round picks that might not even be top 15.
Exactly, and then they're like, we're tanking for Zion. Do you not remember when you had the first pick in 2015 when you were supposed to get Cat, and you ended up with Kristaps, and now you traded him?
And they gave up Tim Hardaway Jr. and Trey Burke and Kristaps and Courtney Lee, all to the Mavs.
They used Kristaps as a way to dump salary, which is insane.
So the biggest loser of this trade, other than the Knicks organization, is probably like Jalen Brunson and Devin Harris, who will lose their minutes to Trey Burke probably.
And I just want to say, like, of course, in a dream scenario, the way this works out for the Knicks is if they sign 2 free agents, KD and Kyrie, with their max contract space now.
But how many times have we heard before the Knicks will get this guy?
How many times have we heard everyone wants to go play for the Lakers or the Knicks because it's LA or New York? And how many free agents did the Lakers miss? So
it's the same thing as St. John's where we go to school. Oh, they play at MSG. Who doesn't want to play at MSG? Meanwhile, we only get good enough
3-star recruits.
No, we only get good enough recruits to make a starting 5 because our bench is very subpar, and that's the reason if we make the tournament that we'll probably get kicked out in the first round.
And so if let's say Kyrie comes, if any free agent comes, I think they have the best chance with Kyrie. KD,
I think Kemba is the best chance with the Knicks.
Maybe. KD, I definitely don't see him coming. They're like, oh, because KD tweeted that Royal Ivy is his best friend, and Royal Ivy's an assistant coach for the Knicks, that KD's going to come.
Look, bottom line, I believe if Kyrie goes anywhere, he's going to go where Kawhi goes, because I think Kawhi is going to leave Toronto, and I think they're teaming up. That's my opinion. I wouldn't. KD goes his own way or stays, whatever. We'll see what happens.
I wouldn't bank on KD following a best friendship when I seem to remember him calling Russell Westbrook his brother and then leaving him the year after. So I don't think KD really cares about friends. Also, why would KD go somewhere at 31 years old where it's going to be the worst team he's ever played on? Why would he want to exert more energy as he gets older? Why would he want it to be harder as he gets older instead of easier? There's no way around this. The Knicks are the most incompetent franchise ever. James Dolan is a horrible owner, but he refused to sell the team, and they will rot while he owns it. But yeah, that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Make sure you go subscribe to us and leave us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. You can look up Hoopball Nets, Brooklyn Nets. Make sure to go subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at HoopballNet. You can follow us individually at Najee Adams _. If you don't know how to spell Najee, it's Najee Adams _. Hunter's at Hunter _JKR. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you all next time.